place a lot more importance on the immediate than rather than the future. Meanwhile, a lot of our challenges are essentially very hard to regulate. You can create a law, they're bloody hard to regulate. You're essentially going to get people to behave in a way that you want to, and so the regulatory mechanism is essentially going to be something that might indicate to the people how they should behave, but if you're intelligent about how you design it, you don't need to spend any money on the regulatory systems. You're creating behavioral triggers so that people behave the way they do, and it's a pull technique rather than a push technique, okay? You need to know that there are tipping points in the system where, as you break systems down, systems are complex, and you never know when you're going to get a really hard, sharp turn. And this is thinking from ecology, where you have tipping points where suddenly a population of one species can go sky high and create all these disturbances. And because we don't know how to think in tipping points, we need to think in terms of balanced systems and self-governing systems and resilient systems. Now, any problem that you think of, you need to have focus in, right? You need to focus. If you're working on AIDS, you need to have a focus on making sure that you're getting outcomes on that problem. But the boundary conditions that you draw is not just AIDS. There are many, many things that are feeding into that problem, and unless you look at those as well, the extrinsic issues, you're actually doing a very piecemeal intervention. So you actually need to focus on something that looks broader at the causative forces that go into it, right? So the issue with scale challenges is that massive scale challenges demand that you innovate in a very disproportionate manner. If you have a certain amount of resources, no matter how much resources you have, what you're trying to pull off with those resources are disproportionate, which means you need to be very innovative, right? You need to find extremely innovative to stretch the effect of the impact with meager resources, right? Which means that you need to adhere to some principles of scaling and think very differently about scaling. So here are some principles that I'm going to rattle out. Keep that, don't try to memorize them, but keep that in the back of your mind as you're designing your innovation strategies for something that is already scaled. If something has taken 20 years to scale, jump on top of that and use that. So if cell phones have permeated, jump on top of cell phones. If there's a cultural behavior that is a norm, like everybody's crazy about soccer, find a way to piggyback on top of that. Use what you have, right, which is already scaled. So it could be an existing trend, a motivation, or a funding stream, or whatever. So if you find that a dominant motivation for most people is sending their kids to school, for example, right? It's a very popular, meaning in most communities we go to, we find that if you try to talk to them about, hey, you should have a new water system or whatever it is, they're looking for the now. But if we start talking about their kids, the whole conversation changes. Find a way of riding on top of that, which might be that you're not giving them money, you're giving them tuition, right? So find a way of changing the currency in terms of what they care about, right? Find positive feedback loops. So find ways in which the change will accelerate the change, what you're trying to do, and it's a self-propulsion mechanism, right? Now behavior is on one hand hard to change. All of us know that, I know that I went to bed last night thinking that I'm going to wake up early and go jogging, right? Did it happen? No, right? I said, I have had 4 hours of sleep, I'm going to give up on that. But I'm going to set the alarm tonight saying that I'm going to go jogging tomorrow, right? I'm not learning from my behavior, right? So behavior change is hard, but it's an incredibly elegant tool. Think about how behavior has changed profoundly in the way we behave compared to how slow pushing out infrastructure is. Think about how many people started using email or cell phones or Facebook compared to how long it takes to take a new kind of internal combustion engine out and change an entire fleet of cars, right? It's really, really powerful, and the human level is where a lot of systems come crashing down, so it's worth paying attention to.